All right, ready to absolutely crush that upcoming job interview. We're diving deep into some seriously smart prep strategies today. Because let's face it, interviews, they can be a little intense. The good news is, with the right prep, you can walk into that room feeling like $1,000,000, ready to shine. We're going to break down the most useful advice from this material, and thus, you're going to walk away feeling totally prepped. First up, we got to talk about the classic advice. Research the company, but, and I'm sure you know this, but we're not just talking about memorizing the mission statement here. It goes way deeper than that.
Yeah, for sure. It's about understanding the why behind the what. You know, what are their values? What are some of the challenges they're facing? What are their long-term goals? When you understand the company's context, you can tailor your answers in a way that truly resonates, and I think that's really important. So let's say, for example, you discover that they've recently embraced this remote-first work policy. During the interview, when they ask about your work style, you can then mention how much you value flexibility and focus, aligning yourself with their values.
Totally. It's like you're speaking their language. It shows you're not just looking for any job. You're looking for this job. Now, let's talk about those classic interview questions like, tell me about yourself. We've all been there, staring at that prompt like it's asking us for the secrets of the universe. Our source materials suggests having some go-to stories ready. But memorizing word-for-word answers, that can sometimes backfire.
Yeah, nobody wants to sound like a robot, right? Instead of memorizing, think of it as building a story toolbox. What are some engaging anecdotes from your past experiences that really highlight your skills? So for example, instead of just saying, I'm a great communicator, you could share a quick story about a time you had to resolve a conflict within your team, highlighting your active listening and problem-solving skills.
Show, don't tell, right? And speaking of showing, let's talk about those accomplishments on your resume. We don't want them to read like a grocery list. So what's the best way to make them stand out?
This is where the STAR method comes in. Situation, task, action, result. You know that classic, tell me about a time you failed question. This is where STAR becomes your superpower. Let's say, for example, you missed a deadline on a project. Instead of just saying, oh, I failed to meet the deadline, you describe the situation. Maybe there were some unforeseen obstacles. Your task, what you were responsible for, the actions you took to try and mitigate the situation. Did you communicate proactively? Did you adjust your workflow? And then the result. What did you learn from that experience? Did you implement new strategies to prevent similar issues from popping up again in the future?
Wow, that is so much better than just listing bullet points. It's about bringing your experiences to life. Okay, shifting gears a bit here. Our source mentions first impressions. And of course, dressing appropriately is important. But what else creates that hire me aura before you even say a word?
It's all about those subtle cues. Arriving on time or even a few minutes early shows respect for their time. Coming prepared with thoughtful questions demonstrates genuine interest and that you've done your homework.
Don't forget a little enthusiasm.
Absolutely. Let your passion shine through. Companies want to see that you're genuinely excited about the opportunity.
Infectious enthusiasm. I love it. Finally, let's talk about the thank you note. They suggest going beyond a generic thanks for your time.
Yeah, definitely. Use the thank you note as an opportunity to reiterate your interest and mention something specific that resonated with you from the conversation. Did something they say particularly excite you about the role or the company? Mention it. It shows you were listening and engaged.
So there you have it. Research beyond the surface. Prepare your story toolbox. Highlight your accomplishments with the STAR method. Make a stellar first impression. And seal the deal with a thoughtful thank you note. Now, here's a final thought. Beyond just acing the interview, use this as an opportunity to assess the company culture. Is it the right fit for you? Do their values align with yours? Pay attention to how they interact with you and the questions they ask. The interview is a two-way street after all.